Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason. This one again about the quarterback, Baker Mayfield.
I think Baker should be gone. I don't think that he can run the offense well enough. Obviously, he's been injured. Obviously, the wide receiver core is not that great. But I don't think he is the one. He reads plays like a last year Carson Wentz. He throws the ball like Blaine Gabbert if you strapped a rocket to his arm. I mean, he can't read plays. He can't throw the ball, and he's holding us back. We have a top 10 offensive line, top 1 running back core in the NFL, good defense. Obviously, Kevin hasn't been helping him out because he had a down year play calling this year. But I think we need someone who can at least run the offense. It doesn't take much to make us a contender. I just don't think that he can do it.
All right, Ashley Bastock, I think the fact that the Browns came out and said they're moving forward with Baker tells me that injury affected him a little bit more than Baker or the Browns were letting on. And the other thing is you really can't judge much of anything from Baker Mayfield based on 2021. You just can't. I think he had one game where he wasn't banged up.
Yeah, I mean, that shoulder injury, the messaging we've heard on that, and I think I talked about this last week on this show, it definitely changed over the last few weeks from the team. Like, we heard Baker Mayfield and we heard Alex Van Pelt admit that shoulder harness really did impact him down the stretch of the season. And we heard guys today talk after or before their exit interviews that were going on in Berea, Wyatt Teller, Joel Bitonio, John Johnson III, these team leaders sort of saying that they understand that he was impacted, Nick Chubb as well, that Baker Mayfield was impacted. Guys seem to respect the fact that he played. And obviously, I understand why players are saying that. But I do think in hindsight, it's kind of a fair question to ask. What would have happened if Baker Mayfield had sat, if he had gotten surgery earlier, closer to when that shoulder injury happened in week 2? But of course, the saying hindsight's 2020 is true. I think the Browns sort of looked at this situation and said, even a hurt Baker Mayfield has a higher ceiling than Case Keenum. For whatever reason, they thought that, right? And they continued to play him week to week. The medical personnel involved with these decisions said it was okay. And Baker Mayfield's obviously a competitive guy. He wanted to be out there. But evaluating this season for him, I've been saying it for weeks, is going to be incredibly difficult. And they have that cushion year, that 5th year. And I understand why they might want to use it to just cross all their T's and dot all the I's. These are not easy cut and dry decisions. And that caller in that voicemail wants to move on from Baker Mayfield, but there's plenty of fans on the flip side of that too. I mean, I think the fan base is really divided over Baker Mayfield's future here in Cleveland. And it's understandable why. I think that kind of should give some insight into how confusing this year has been and how much that injury has impacted things. Is kind of an unanswerable question, I think.
Yeah, and the flip side of it is, if you're going to say move on from him, what are you moving on to? And,
right.
You have to really ask, is it significantly better or is it better? Because as the viewer on the voicemail said, this team's set up to be successful with pretty good quarterback play being the biggest thing that they didn't get this year.